When you're looking at expenses, there are two different categories. There are variable expenses and fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are the ones you can count on every single month to be the exact same amount. This could be your mortgage, your car payment, those expenses that are fixed. They are the exact same over and over. Now, variable expenses are the ones that really can make a difference month to month. These are the ones that you also have the most control over. These are expenses such as groceries, gas, utilities, things that will vary from month to month depending upon use or whatever's happening in the economy, inflation that may go up. This is where you have the most control over your money. And so in this video, I want to discuss 35 money saving tips for these variable expenses. With any of these tips, not all of them are going to work for every single person. I feel like a broken record saying this, but I always have someone in the comments that says, well, that won't work for my life. Okay, great. Well, maybe one of the other 35 tips will. Leave the ones behind that don't work for you, move on and find something that does. If you find one that interests you, that works for your stage of life, write it down. Now, if you have any great tips on how to reduce variable expenses, let me know in the comments below. Number one is going to seem kind of crazy, but just remember, this was a very big topic about 4 years ago. Use toilet paper circa 2020. Do you remember? It seems like yesterday, yet so long ago, that there was a toilet paper shortage. So do you remember yourself being very conscious about how far off the toilet paper roll you pulled? Whereas, in 2019, you would have just gone like this and let the whole thing spin and have to use a ton of toilet paper. And you may say toilet paper is not very expensive relatively. Well, it can be over time. And if we can just go back to being more conscious about how much we pull off the roll and pretending as if it's scarce, then we're going to waste less and we're going to save more. Number two is to find a cheaper way to do something that you love. This could be a number of things. Think about the things that you do that you love that are expensive or cost money. Could you do these things less expensive? Just to get your mind working, a couple of would be you love to read and buying books. You buy books all the time. You have stacks of books. Well, then you could just go to the library. Now, if the library doesn't have the latest and greatest or the book that you want, oftentimes they take your suggestions and they will let you know if they're going to order it and when it will be in. This could also be you like to work out. You work out a lot at the gym, but the gym fees are just crazy expensive. You could invest in a little bit of equipment at home, perhaps a mat, maybe some dumbbells, and work out at home. These are just a couple examples of things that you love to do and ways to do them cheaper. Number three is a great time to start talking about this, and it's to stop buying seasonal home decor. We're getting ready. The fall things are already out, even though it's blistering hot outside. The things are already in the stores. And people see these things and they just want to buy all of the seasonal decor. It's so fun. It's so nice to look at. Look how cute that is. And then you have these influencers that do all of these seasonal hauls where they get all of these new things and they show you how they decorate their home for these 52 holidays just so they can create content to get money because they have views on them. And half the time, just a little secret, they end up returning the things that they used to decorate with. They don't actually keep them, but they make you feel as if you need to go out and get a ton of new seasonal decor. Limit your seasonal decor, buy the pieces that you love, and rotate them out. That way they feel new. Number four is to look at the things that you use every day or often that are disposable and think about how you could replace them with something that is reusable. Maybe if you use dryer sheets, which aren't necessarily necessary whatsoever, you replace that with dryer balls, or you're always going and getting bottled water and you replace that with a nice insulated cup. So think about the things that you seem that you go, I'm being wasteful. I use this often. I'm being wasteful. Is there something that you can replace it with that would be reusable? Number five is to only shop with a purpose. Don't use spare time or downtime or bored time to search on websites, to search the Amazon that we, see what's there. Only shopping with a purpose is only opening a shopping app, only going to a store when you have a purpose and a specific thing that you are looking for. This is definitely going to cut down on a lot of unnecessary spending. Number 6 is to buy stacks of cloths to use instead of paper towels. This is also an example of something that you use often, and instead of using the disposable, you're using the thing that is reusable. So we've had to recently replace our cloths because we've used them for several years, and they do break down over time, but overall they save us a ton of money. And we keep, it's a big stack of cloths that we keep that we use to wipe up messes, wipe down counters, absorb spills, etc. We use them for all the time, and these things are our best asset when it comes to not wasting paper towels, and they absorb so much more. So buy yourself a stack. You can go to Costco and buy a big stack. You can go to sometimes TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. Those places have really great deals on them, or you can find them even on Amazon for really inexpensive. Number 7 is to create a reverse grocery list. This is where what I call a reverse grocery list, where I have a list of the things that I use all the time because I'm always going to the store. There's very rare times when I go to the store that I buy something that I don't normally buy. It's always the same rinse and repeat items. So have a list of the things that you always have to or want to or need to keep on hand, and have that list print it out so that you can keep a file and you can print new copies. And then whenever you're out of something, you just kind of check it off, or you mark it off, or you highlight it. That way it saves you a ton of time. You can keep this up on your fridge. When you see you're low on something, just mark it. You don't have to spend the time writing it down, and you don't have to spend the time going through your pantry, going through your fridge, going through all of your normal consumables to see what you need when you do plan to go shopping. Number 8 is to do your own manicures and pedicures. I actually did this morning on myself and on my daughter. We did our toes and our nails. It took about an hour or so. I used this great Beetles gel nail kit that I found on Amazon. I will link it down below if you're interested in it. But the best thing about this and nails recently is, I like to have my toes done, especially during the summer, and do my nails every once in a while. But really, the natural nail look is super, super in now, which I'm all for. So, even if you don't want to do anything other than just trim and file down your nails, you can do that at home, and you could be in style with the natural nail trend. Number 9 is to stop buying pre-prepared foods. The things that you can go in, the casseroles that are already made, you just stick them in the oven, or all the meal kit, the taco meal kit that you can buy. Yes, for convenience sake, it would be less expensive than going out to eat, but you're really wasting so much money, and who knows how long those things have sat there, when it doesn't take that long to chop your own vegetables, put some black beans on the stove, maybe even saute a little ground beef, make a little rice to make fresh tacos. You're going to know what's in the meal. You're going to spend a little bit more time together cooking as a family, and you're not going to be spending extra money on when somebody else did the prep for you. Number 10 is regarding buying wardrobe pieces or shoes or seasonal accessories, or during the summer you're buying a swimsuit or shorts or a sundress or a t-shirt, or in the winter you're buying coats or boots or new jeans. It's best to wait into the middle of the season or the end of the season. So anywhere between halfway through the middle of summer or the middle of winter and the end of that season is the best time to purchase those seasonal items. The worst times are right before the season. So we're getting ready to come upon winter. I don't know when you're watching this, but it's getting ready to be winter clothing season. So once winter clothing season starts, not even the end of summer, that's when those things are going to be at a premium. I guarantee you, if you just wait a bit, you can really stock up and find some great deals and some great sales, especially if you do wait for a typical holiday that happens during that mid-season to end of season time frame. Number 11, if you really have a hard time sticking to your grocery budget, try grocery pickup. Now, this doesn't work for everybody, but I've had so many people on my channel comment in the comments down below when this has been mentioned that they've done this and they've seen a significant decrease in the amount of wasted and less wasted food and less wasted money because they really have a hard time impulse buying and sticking to their list at the store. And that's okay. We're not going to be perfect human beings, okay? So we can acknowledge when we have things that we struggle with. So if you do struggle with this, try grocery pickup. Usually it's very minimal if there's a fee at all, or there is a minimum amount that you need to order. For instance, at my grocery store, it's a minimum of $35, and I don't know about you, but I could walk out of the grocery store these days with inflated prices buying 2 things, and somehow it's $35. I won't get off on that tangent right now, but grocery pickup is great because you can use the app, you can go through the flyers, you can spend your time, you can see exactly what's on sale, and then you can look at your cart to see if that amount is within budget. If you have a few extra things in there that were special that you really don't need and you're slightly over budget, you can easily just remove those, so it really helps you stick to that budget. Number 12 is to not buy dry clean only clothes. Now, I will also mention, I'm probably going to talk about this in another video a little bit down the road, where I'm really learning about the chemicals that they use in dry cleaning at most dry cleaning places. And there have been links. Again, I don't have the documentation of the scientific evidence to back this up immediately, but this is what I've been reading, and I'm going to do more research in it. But there has been links between those chemicals and things that happen later on in life, such as dementia or Alzheimer's and those types of brain issues later on in life. I found that fascinating, so I really want to look into that even more, but we're really understanding what it is that they're using when they're dry cleaning. They're using chemicals to clean your clothes. Not only is it stupid expensive, but there could be really harmful things. So if you have to do it often, it really might be something to dig into. Google it and see what you can find out, plus the cost of it. So anything that has to be dry cleaned only, I will take a look at it and I will say, is this kind of a marketing tactic? Maybe that's the best way to keep it maintained, but could I just wash this by hand and delicate and it would be just fine? If that's the case, I might still purchase the item if I love it, but I will not be dry cleaning items. Number 13, we are going to continue on the clothing trend here, and it's air drying your clothes. Okay, I know, very obvious way to save money because you're not running that dryer, but did you know that lint that's collected in the dryer are fibers from your clothes. So you are reducing the amount of you are making the cost per wear more expensive the more often you dry something. So if you get less use out of the clothes, you get less wear out of it because it's breaking down every time you use that dryer, then you're not getting the benefit of buying that quality piece of clothing, or even buying it when it's in the middle of the season. You're not getting the benefit of the dollars that you spent, not also discounting the fact that using the dryer less reduces your electricity and reduces the heat that's in your house, especially if it is during the summer. Now, I have viewers from all over the world, and it's so funny, and let me know down below, because I love hearing this, that really dryers are not a common thing in so many places. It's just become, a Western thing that is we have to have this thing. And I remember growing up, my grandmother didn't have a dryer. Everything was put on lines outside, and then they had this beautiful smell of honeysuckle, and she had to walk, it was maybe 150 yards to go to the washing machine, which was behind the house in a shop. So it's just a modern convenience. So I'd love to hear from you, because we get so used to the things that we're used to, the luxuries that we're used to, that we don't think about how things used to be, or even how other people in the world live, and they do just fine without dryers. Number 14 is to move that thermostat up or move that thermostat down. Let me tell you, I got the electricity bill this past week, and I am one who's very conscious about making sure that it's not too cold in the house. I can have a comfortable level. People are comfortable, but dressed appropriately as well, so we're not using too much of the air conditioning or the heat. It has been so hot, though, unusually hot, that the air conditioner has just been powering on, and the electricity bill, also because of inflation and the cost went up, again, not going on that tangent, went up $50 from the month before. So moving that thermostat will make a difference on how many times it kicks on. Just make sure you're comfortable. You can be a little bit uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be super cold. or super hot, just depending upon the season. Number 15 is one that can help on that air conditioning or heating bill. There is a little switch on most newer ceiling fans that will reverse the direction. So you have one direction that is good when it is hot outside, when you're cooling the house, and it will push it will circulate the air. And then the cool thing is when you can switch it during the winter time, it will push air down. So hot air rises, it will then push that hot air down to help the room. So we have ceiling fans in all the bedrooms, and we have a ceiling fan in the living room. That was one thing when we bought this house. We were first things to install were our ceiling fans. Number 16 is finding free things to do instead of always having to spend money. Using money as a way to entertain yourself. As far as going out and eating, going out to events, going out and shopping, there are so many more things you can do with your time. I recently did a video where I listed 30 items. I will link that video down below. Number 17, we're going to jump back to that electricity or that heating bill. That could be really a big issue, especially if you live in an older home or even not that old, and you really have to think about the leaks in your doors or your windows. If you've got air that's seeping in or seeping out, because caulking does break down over time, weather stripping does break down over time, houses settle over time, so there could be leaks. So really go through maybe even once a quarter, once a season, and check to see if there's any caulking that needs to be redone. If you can feel a little bit of a draft around the windows, sometimes you can even see easy evidence of the caulk that's cracking or the paint that's cracking, or if the sweeper under your door needs to be replaced because again it's broken down over time, so you're letting heat or air conditioning, what they call bought air, out of the house because of these little things that you can change out relatively inexpensively. I'm probably going to give this tip at least once a quarter because this is how often I recommend you doing it, so I'm going to do it anyway, and it's to audit your subscriptions. We live in a subscription society now where that's where we get things, whether it's music or phone plans or TV especially. And sometimes it can even be workout apps. Sometimes you have subscriptions, and especially these really will get you if you have an annual subscription, because you'll forget to write it down and then the next year rolls around and that annual subscription is much more significant than a $10 or $11 monthly subscription, and you suddenly get charged and you're like, oh, I haven't even been using this thing for 6 months and I just got charged $100. Oh my goodness, and I can't get it back because I didn't write it down. Audit your subscriptions. So the first thing you need to do is have a list that you always keep with the subscription, the site, the cost, the renewal of it, the password, and the username, and go through this list at least once a quarter. Are you still using this thing? Do you really still need this? Knowing when your subscription's coming due, especially if it's an annual one, and canceling it beforehand if you don't want to renew it. Number 19 is big and so simple and so often said, but let me tell you, drinking water can make such a huge difference in your life. Not only are sugary beverages so expensive, but again, I dug down this rabbit hole of this, just thinking later in life what I could control now to hopefully make my life, my visibly useful life of hopefully maintaining my brain health and my body health as long as possible. What do I need to do? And looking at the things that are put in sodas and even fruit juices and the concentrated sugar and the links between what it can do to your body and spiking your glucose and just messing you completely up. Just saturating your body with water not only has those immediate benefits of saving you money, especially if you go out. A soda is so expensive now, even just getting a tea or anything, let alone an alcoholic beverage. But just drinking water, I've talked about how I have kidney stones, and I recently had another one, but I've been drinking up to or at and above half a gallon of water a day. And what happened was the difference in my kidney stone from 18 months ago was significant. I did not even know I had it till the very end of it because I was flushing my body so well. So drinking water has more than just immediate monetary benefit of not spending on sugary beverage drinks. Number 20 is to have a batch cooking day. For me, this falls on Sunday. I know I need to prepare myself for the week ahead because I lead a very busy schedule with my work, my daughter, my husband's job, and I know that I'm not going to have the care or capacity to meal prep during the week. I will still cook, but really I isolate my big cooking days to the weekends. That's when I can make extra meals for our leftovers that we eat at lunch through the week. Or if I need to prepare something for the week ahead, such as, I don't know, you chop up vegetables, etc., to make the week easier. So pick a day if you have this type of busy schedule. You may not, just depending upon where you are in life, and batch cook. It really makes a significant difference in the quality of your life throughout the week. Number 21, if you're going to batch cook, eat those leftovers. Leftovers are great. One of the things that really got me over the hump of leftovers, because forever I was like, no, disgusting, I don't do leftovers, gross, microwave food, etc., is you really have to think about what food is good reheated. And if there are other ways that you can reheat, if you happen to have an air fryer, so if you're at home, or you happen to have a toaster oven, those may really make reheating things better. But if you have just a microwave at the office, there are meals that you can make in your batch cooking time that reheat where they'll still be just as tasty. Number 22, hear me on this. Do not leave the house without a list. If you are going out to buy something with the intention, have a list. And I don't care if it's groceries, clothing, something at the hardware store, and it's just 2 items. Write it down. Otherwise, you will buy something that you don't need, or you will forget something that you would have needing another trip out. Number 23 is to do a short spending freeze. This really can help jumpstart spending back, cutting back, and really saying, I'm really consuming a lot. I'm really spending a lot on these variable expenses or these impulse buys, and doing a short spending freeze, not just waiting till doing no spend January or no spend February when everybody has all this motivation after they've gluttoned themselves up during the holidays with expenses and food, and everybody has all these great intentions. Do it anytime. Do it 1 week a month. Do it 1 day a week. Do it 1 weekend a month. Have a spending freeze on a regular basis can really make a difference. Number 24 is to create a grocery price book. And I would also recommend and add to this tip, adding the ounces in that item, specifically if it's something that's boxed. Let's say you have one of those rice blend boxes that you buy. I wish I had one from 3 years ago, because I guarantee you what they do is they keep the same box, and shrinkflation really is a thing. So these companies, yeah, you can say it's corporate greed. It may be at some point, but also they are also leveraging the expenses of things too. Okay, so when rent on places goes up, when taxes go up, when cost of labor goes up, they have to recoup that expense. They can't keep losing money and stay in business. So it could be corporate greed. It could be a combination of just everything's going up for everybody. It's just not the isolated single consumer. So what they're doing is they're putting less product in the box. They're keeping the same box so it looks like the same. They're being legal by changing the amount of contents inside the box, but you wouldn't otherwise know unless you had an older box. And they're charging more for the product. This is a great tool. If you write down the price, the normal price of something and the ounces of something, you're going to get very familiar and you're going to understand when things are at their best price. Number 25 is to stock up when things are on their best price. Leave some room in your budget. So let's say your grocery budget's $150 a week. Go through and spend about $125. Keep a gap. So that $25 gap, again, fluctuate it to fit your needs. It could be $5, $10, it could be $2, whatever. But try to keep a gap, $5, $10, because if you find something that's on sale that is something that is shelf stable, like can of beans, etc., that's on sale, stock up when you know via your grocery price book that they are at their bottom dollar. Number 26 is to try to repair something before you go out and spend a ton of money or buy something new. This recently happened in the last couple of weeks. Our refrigerator, the water dispenser, was coming out so slow, and it just took forever to fill a glass of filtered water through the refrigerator. And you might think, just go buy a new fridge. No, we're not going to do that. This has got to be replaceable. You've got to be able to figure this out on your own. So my husband did several days of research because, he's handy, but dealing with something like a refrigerator and the water line and all of that is something different. He tried a few things. We spent, $50, and we were able to fix it. We fixed the line and the little coil that came down, and the water's coming out fantastically. So try your darndest to fix something to see if you can save the money on having somebody come out, which is going to cost you more in labor and their time, or having to replace the thing altogether. Number 27 is to batch your errands. Gas has gone up about 30 to 40% in the last few years. So keeping track of what you need and where you are going is a great idea. So on a day that you plan to go out, think about all the places that you need to hit in that area. Go through a list of the things that you need to pick up, return, do, etc. And if you're also just planning to go out, maybe you have that list or maybe you don't, still sit for about 5 minutes before you go and brainstorm. Is there anything nearby on this way that I need to also do or pick up on the way that I can incorporate in this trip? Number 28 is one of the best ways to really save on very expensive items that could break down, and it's maintaining your things. Changing your air filter, servicing your HVAC, changing your oil, rotating your tires. We can take care of these things that go down in value, vehicles that will break down, that are extremely costly to repair or replace. And if we can do the things that it needs to be done, if we fuel our body with healthy food, we can hopefully run our body for longer. And if we take care of these things that we have, such as vehicles or HVAC systems, etc., hopefully we can prolong their life as well. Number 29 is to parent yourself when it comes to random expenses or wants. Think about, you're shopping on Amazon, you're stopping at the gas station to get treats, the fast food drive-through. Sit there and think, what would a loving, caring parent say? They would say, oh, nope, you can wait. You don't need that. Sometimes we need that inner parent to talk us out of those wants. Number 30 is to try to really use multi-purpose cleaners or even homemade cleaners that are multi-purpose, rather than having 6 different things for 6 different activities in your cleaning regimen. The thing is, of course, companies are going to try to maximize profit. So they're going to say, this is for your bathroom floor cleaner, and this one is for your kitchen floor cleaner, and this one is for your living room floor cleaner. And don't forget, you need a separate cleaner for your toilet and a separate cleaner for your kitchen tile, because trust me, they work differently. You really don't. And one other benefit or tip here is to let those things sit and do their job. If you're going to just spray it on and wipe it off immediately, think about that. You may as well just spray water on the thing. It's not going to have time to do its job. Number 31 is to simplify your style, your makeup routine, your hair care routine, your wardrobe. We really are inundated with these picturesque, filtered, best of the best pictures every day via marketing at so much more of a pace than we ever have been in history. So even if you try your darndest to put up a wall and a block and a filter between how you feel and when you see these things, it's going to have an effect on how you feel about yourself and how you want to improve your look. And oh my goodness, that looks so cute. Why can't I look that? So I need to go out and get this, that, and the other. Really just simplify, because most of the time when you simplify something, you're going to still look your absolute best. You're most certainly going to save money, and it will help you understand the difference between that highly filtered, highly curated beauty that's put out into our vision every single day and what really actually is who you are. Number 32 is, if you are going to use Amazon, this is one of my favorite things to do, and it's to add something to your cart if you really love it and it's what you really want, and hit the button save for later. 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to go back and you're going to think, I don't actually really want that thing anymore. In such case, then you can hit the delete button. Or 2, if you really do want that thing or need that thing, you can wait till it hits its bottom price. I have become really, really good at this. There are many saved items in my Amazon cart, especially if somebody says something that is an idea for a gift for them and I write it down on my future gifts list. A lot of times I'll go ahead and put it in my Amazon cart if it's found on Amazon, and I'll wait and and pick it up when it's at its rock bottom deal. Recently, I was on the search for a pair of 20-pound dumbbell weights to add to my workout routine here at home. And I found a great pair, the ones that really I like for my hands. And it's like, I don't know what kind of the thing is, but it's not the small metal bar. I have really long fingers, so I like the thicker handle of dumbbells. So I added them to my Amazon cart, saved them for later, and they were $40. About 6 weeks later, there was a huge sale, and I got those things for $28. Definitely worth saving $12. Number 33 is to think about things and how you can reuse them. Rather than needing something else, what can you turn this thing into? I did a great video at the end of last year talking about tons of fun things that you can reuse. I will link that down below. These are little things that you can save or reuse just to solve everyday problems. Number 34 is this is a skill that I think absolutely everybody needs, and it's your basic sewing. And there are so many vintage skills that are skills that we've had forever and ever that we are losing because we just aren't teaching them anymore. And this is one that is so inevitable that you're going to need it. If there's a hole in your sweater arm that you really want to wear that sweater that day, you can stitch it up real quick. Or you need to tack up the hem of a pair of pants. And I don't know about you, but I'm at the age with a 7-year-old where I think I use my sewing kit pretty often because I'm always playing stuffed animal doctor, and there's always a hole in somebody that I have to fix. And you know what? It's always an emergency and needs to be done right away. Number 35 is, I know, one that is very hard, but I had to add it in here because some of these things can make a significant difference on your variable expenses. And not only are they bad for you as far as cost, but very bad for your health. And I'm very conscious more recently, obviously ever since I turned 40, I've just hit this wall. I'm like, oh wait, things are starting to feel different. I need to start taking better care of myself. My cholesterol's out of control. I need to do a better job at this strength training and building to create muscle that will help me with my mobility later on in life. So I have to add this in. And it's to cut back or stop altogether on bad habits, things you know you do. And trust me, we all have those, remember? We're not perfect. We all have the bad habits. So it could be anything. It could be something maybe smaller, like you drink 10 sodas a day or 3 sodas a day. Either one, not good. To something as severe as of smoking, vaping, or drinking a ton. And I know it is difficult, but sometimes you just have to sit there and think, what's worth it? Is it worth the money that I'm spending? Is it worth the long-term health effects that I'm not going to be around for my family to see them grow up, or to see my grandchildren for a long time and really make an impact on their life and teach them the skills that we are quickly losing? And I talked about how my husband and I mentored a couple, and we were looking at their finances, and they were spending $400 to $500 a month on disposable vapes. And that was a significant amount of money, especially when you have not a lot of margin and you have debt that you're working to clear up. So it's something to consider that really could be a big impact on your variable expenses. Don't forget, add down below what your best tip for reducing variable expenses is. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you. Hit the subscribe button if you want to come back for more videos. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you next weekend for a new video.